What's up, YouTubers? I'm John, and this is JT Vapes. So once again, welcome to my channel. My goals for this channel, mostly doing reviews. I know there's a lot of reviewers out there, and there's a couple that have the same goals that I have for my channel. Being blue collar in law enforcement, I like to have something that is an all-day driver. Where I'm coming from this is, if I'm not, I don't have an indisposable income. So what I'm going to say is my videos are going to be more, should you buy this? Should you spend your money on this product? Okay. So I have my daily drivers with me, which I use very often. There's one that I can't love. But again, I'll give it a shout out because again, it's a very popular YouTuber, and his tank has issues. So my first daily driver would definitely be the G-Box running on top of the Dead Rabbit by Heathen, which again, big shout out to any first responder. He's a Philadelphia firefighter, and most of my family is from Philly. I got to give a big shout out to him. Amazing product, wonderful design, and you can just see all of the time and effort it took for him to put into it to make it what he wanted and make it what so many people asked for. Again, my other really go-to atomizer would definitely be the Pulse 24. And it's close to the Dead Rabbit. I have to say the Dead Rabbit just beats it out because the amount, just the closeness of the coils to the top, the airflow, I just think is better. It runs better and has more optimization. Again, I have some drawbacks with the Dead Rabbit, and I have some drawbacks with the G-Box as well. Of course, the G-Box does not have the silicone. It's a harder plastic. I like things more like my other daily driver, the Pulse Mod, that has a very, very squishy bottle. I like that because it draws the juice back out. Again, so my next daily driver, I have the Radar, which comes with the G-Box, running on top of my Pulse. And of course, this being my unregulated mod, I have my favorite batteries, the Ohm Work batteries, the same Ohm Life, Ohm Work. My G-Box, I'm running the Ohm Life batteries. I can't say I like them. I can't say enough how much I like them. My buddy had some. He was like, I was like, man, they look like Energizer batteries. And when I tried them in my first mod, I was like, this is a regulated mod, but the ramp up time just like jumped. And I'm not behind all the science on it. I just think they're better batteries, and they're kind of my daily driver in batteries wise. Not sponsored by anybody. I'll get to that later, and the things that I like, I'm just telling you what I like. I don't really care what other people think. If you hate me, if you love me, it makes no difference to me. Now, I love having fans. I love it like anybody would. Okay, so my third go-to is the Smock Mag. I know it's the basic bitch of new mods. I like it. Again, I'm a big gun guy. I love having the feeling of the trigger grip and the mag. I just love that. It's my go-to, for tanks. Now, of course, every now and again I'll use a regular sub-ohm mod, like the Prince tank, which is a decent mod. I have my pros and cons about it, just like anybody else would. But one thing, what I'm running on it, of course, is the Pharaoh Mini by Rip Traverse, and this is the one I said I have a love-hate relationship with. I really do. It has great flavor. It has, okay, I have to say my favorite thing about it is this rip tip on the front. It's just, I've never found a more comfortable drip tip. Now, I wish it would be workable with other mods. It doesn't fit on other ones. It probably fits on other RTAs. And I haven't experienced too much with RTAs, and that's probably where some of my videos are going to go. It's getting more experience with RTAs. And that's really where this channel is going to be built, by getting more material, getting more things. And I have a video that will be coming up with a review of something I am buying off of Facebook, a custom-made mod, but he actually has some popularity, and he's not just an unknown person making a mod. So I'll be revealing that later on in later points of time. And then anything else that I end up buying, I'll bring to the table, break it down, tell you how much I like it or how much I dislike it. Fourth, which people might hit me for, John, why the hell do you have a mouth to lung? You like blowing clouds. I do, But this is my stealth vape, the Soarin' Air. Why I like this is if I'm in some place like a movie theater or just somewhere place where it might not be as good or it might be frowned upon in vaping, I'll use this as a stealth vape. Just something where I can put out my hand over it, take a drag off of it, and not many clouds. So I get my nicotine fix, but not too many clouds, and not many people notice it. I like this size. That's crazy thin. I love that. It fits right into a wallet if you have one. I don't know why you wouldn't have a wallet. It fits anywhere really, basically, and it's easy to just stow away and pack in a bag or whatever. So those are my basic daily drivers. Again, the way I run, I'll run just basically through my likes and dislikes on every mod and every atomizer what I like and what I don't like, and it'll just be brief. Okay, so we'll start with Rip Trippers Faro Mini RTA. I tried today putting the extension tank, the erect tank on it. It extends the juice capacity from, I believe it's 2 to 5 or 2 to 4, and it would the tank itself would free spin and leak all over there. I think it might just be the O-rings that were kind of worn. I tried different O-rings, and you can see there's leakage on that as it is. I'm not the best RTA builder. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm used to building on cloud devices, cloud chasing devices, or RDAs. That's my cup of tea. But I've kind of changed my out view on vaping a little bit. I've changed more from a cloud chaser, blowing the biggest clouds I can find, to more of a flavor chaser, and that's kind of why my second one, I have such closed airflow, and that's my way I run it, and the tip doesn't really match that well. It looks alright, but it doesn't match that well, but the flavor production is great on this. I would say this is the atomizer that I probably like the least out of the atomizers I have on the table, but it's a good daily driver, and I figured I would toss it down the pulse. So again, leaking is a problem. You have to have that wick perfectly on the Faro. I'm sorry, I was out on a rabbit trail. I will do that from time to time. Bear with me. So the flavor production is great. The tip, amazing. I love that it only has bottom airflow. In some other RTAs, what I've seen is it's side or angled, or it will have under, but it's not strictly under airflow. I like that this is strictly under airflow. The flavor definitely works on it. I like the build deck. The build deck is wonderful on this. Since I have juice in all of my devices, I'm not going to break them down for you. You've probably seen other reviewers. You know what they look like. And in future, I'll build on them and I'll make the full video. But this is more of just an introduction, and I realize I'm being long-winded, but hopefully you can get some of my main points. Okay, so what I like about the atomizer. Again, it's a smock atomizer. It's pretty similar. Very good. I like the screen, OLED screen. I like the colors, that you can optimize the colors, change the colors, and of course I like my red and black color scheme, and it's a decent mod. I like the way they did the rainbow, or they call it prism color. I like it better than the original rainbow because I'm not a big rainbow person. But when I saw this, I said, "Oh, that's something different. I like that. I want it." So I decided I'd go with that. Dislikes for this, again, it's subjective. I'm not a big fan of going down a point one in the tens of watts. I can get putting yours as mine's 90 right now. I can get doing 89.5 or 90.5. I get that, but 90.1, I don't think any vapor can say, honestly, maybe you can, and more power to you, can say that it's so much difference, or it's even that much of a difference, or difference at all between the two. So I have a hard time with that, and I think that if you just take that out, you could speed up the time where you're trying to go up or down when you're switching mods. That's a little gripe. The button, you can tighten it, and I have it all the way tightened, but there have been times when I'm pulling it out of a holster, and yes, I have a holster at work. I put my vape, so if I'm running, it doesn't fall out, where it drops the battery. It's a little bit less, it's a little bit more sensitive than I prefer. And again, subjective. You're going to be using it for different things, but you know, it might be something you're going to have in a bag and you don't want it popping out every time. Again, why I have this to blue collar workers, we're working while we vape, or we're trying to work while we vape. So we want something convenient, but yet good flavor, good clouds, all of that. So next, we'll go with the Soarin' Air. Again, just because of where they are on the table. The Soarin' Air is great. You need a high nicotine for any mouth to lung as well. You know, if you have mouth to lung, you need a high nicotine count. And I have Assault Vapors by Naked, and I like it. I'm not a big nicotine person. Normally, I run my nicotine at 1.5. I'll even buy 3 and 0 and mix them together. That's just where I am. But that goes back to where I'm at. I started vaping not because I was smoking and trying to quit. I knew that with the stress level of my job, if I didn't start vaping or didn't find some outlet to de-stress while at work or that, I would probably go to smoking. Back to the Soarin' Air. What's good about this device is, again, small, portable. It actually, the flavor is really good on it. And it's concealable. It has an on-off switch that you can turn on and off, but you really don't need to. It's activated by the draw. You can see the light on the bottom, kind of like any Juul or Blue or any of those little range cigarettes. E-cigarettes or wannabe e-cigarettes. And of course, you fill it through this bottom fill, and it's a decent hit, you know. It's, of course, not very much cloud. If you really wanted to try cloud chasing with it, I guess you could. It would probably burn out the coil really fast, and that's where I have to get. The coil does not last very long on this. I know some people only get a week out of this. I've gotten a little longer because I don't vape this that often unless I'm really, really stressed because of how much nicotine. Like I said, I run at about 1.5. This is salt nicotine. If you know anything about salt nicotine, it delivers it faster to your bloodstream, all of that. And it's less of a throat hit, so you can bump up the milligrams without feeling it. So this probably, what I was told is this feels like a 6 if you were vaping it regularly, but it's 35 milligrams. So it kicks like a horse. Moving on, my unregulated, my daily driver for the longest time until the last device, which you've seen, the G-Box. This was my go-to. I love this. I love the mod on this. The atomizer, again, came with the G-Box. Not greatly fond of it, but it works in this setup. Let me take a hit off it. Alright, so the pulse. Again, done by another reviewer. He knew what he wanted, and he knew what squonkers needed. Because I think this really just brought squonking into every man's pocket, or able to be in every man's pocket. So I love the squishy silicone bottle. It draws out the excess juice. You know, I mean, with something like this radar, it will overflow if you over squonk it. So it's nice to get that pullback. As you can see, it a little bit deflated right there, and it will pull it back, hopefully. You know, it is good to, oh, there it goes. It is good to have that to pull back the excess juice so you're not leaking everywhere. So, love this. The downsides to this, again, subjective as hell, always subjective. I try to find cons with everything, because like another popular reviewer, they want to find the cons so that they can either improve on them or tell people who watch the video what to look for, that they need to be aware of. And in our setting, if we're all blue collar workers here, or don't have disposable income, we want to know what the drawbacks are before we drop the money. So I would say that I've scratched up. I had another one where I dropped this and it scratched up a lot. The really only con I can find with it, being what it is that the magnet, if you can see, it's two-tone, that I have the black with the gray. I actually bought them. The magnets, if you drop this, will fall out pretty easy. And I lost them because I was a dumbass. Again, this is my old one, and I have the other casing somewhere, and the front door magnets fell off. Again, that's my fault, not the mods. Overall, one of my favorite unregulated, but I'm getting an unregulated squonk mod that might beat this, and we'll talk about that when I get it. That's a little teaser for you. Alright, finally, my go-to, what I use all the time. I've been playing with it today, and I'm running in curve mode. That's another thing I really like. My first Osmodeus, I can't remember what the mod was. The first one to have a curve that I ever used. I loved it because you could ramp it down or ramp it up depending on how you want to vape. But I like ramping it down, so the coils got hot, and then you got a consistent, nice vape. I'm running mine, starts at 100 watts, then 90, 85, 80, and then 80. So just a slight curve, and the flavor is amazing. This, I think, is the best of both worlds. And we're going to go and talk about the mod first. Gotta not get sidetracked. This is the best of both worlds. Having a regulated, and you can actually run it in unregulated mode, or what they call bypass mode. I don't really mess around with it because I'm really primarily using this as a regulated mod. I can't say enough good about it. I have a couple drawbacks, and it's really the same drawbacks as everybody who's reviewed this. The bottle. Again, I like the silicone bottle, and again, that's preference. I don't think it draws back enough juice. Now, why I'm running the Dead Rabbit on it is you can run a lot of juice and fill it up almost to the coils, and you're not going to have leakage because of the top airflow. All right, you can hear that. It pulls back a good amount, but it doesn't pull back as much as this would. And even this has a raised post, but it still pulls back enough that it won't leak. Also, I've had a weird problem. I want somebody in the comments to maybe tell me what it is. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I broke it. Haven't dropped it, so I don't know how that would be. Most of the mods on here, it is screwed in as tight as I can get it, but it still has that wiggle. Do not like that. That is a problem for me. Never had that on any mod. You see them on other mods, no wiggle. No wiggle. I tightened down my mods. I'm not going to bullshit anybody, so I don't know what the problem is with that. So, again, comment, tell me what you think about that, if you have that same problem. I had the same problem when I used my Pulse on that as well. So, when it wiggles very often, what I'll do, as you can see right here, it says, is it a new coil? I didn't change the coils. I'm just guessing it's a loss in connection. That's a problem. That's actually been a big problem that just started happening that I didn't really even realize when I first used it. So that's a question for the comments. Let me know what you think, if you know anything. Geek Vape. If you want to comment, let me know. I love this mod. It's my daily driver. The atomizer on top, I can't say enough good about it. There's a couple things that I would have done differently. If you mix the Pulse with this, it would be the best mod in the world. What I think, let me go to the cons first. I think it should have a locking a locking ring. What I mean by that is when you pull this off, there's only one way these airflows can sit, because there's this, if you can see right there, this top right here, a little divot. So when you put this on, it clicks into place. It's not going anywhere. You can change the airflow. This one's really tight airflow. Kind of that. But this one doesn't have it, so you can just turn this all day long. And again, shake it. All right, so what do I like about this? What don't I like about this? The flavor production, I think, is better, again, subjective, better than Vanny Vape's Pulse, Tony B's Pulse. I love this one. Not detracting, but I think the flavor is just a little bit better. The downward airflow, something I like. I like the downward. I like the upward airflow. I just like angled airflow. As you can see, I don't know if you will be able to see it. That's angled down, but maybe. Basically, what it does is it drops it directly onto the top of the coil. That's great design. I mean, shout out to Heathen. I'm not being sponsored by Heathen, but I will say that I'm a little bit of a fanboy. This Dead Rabbit is just amazing. I love the way it looks. I love the matte black. I got it in mind with the G-Box. That's why I got the green tip on it. It actually kind of looks blue in this light. But it looks awesome. You know, to quote another vapor, it looks the tits. But that being said, you know, those are my daily drivers. Again, until the Dead Rabbit, I was using the Pulse. I love the Pulse. It's great. It's easy to build. Both of them are really easy to build. All these are easy to build, except I would say the Pharaoh Mini. You have to be really careful about how you wick, or else you're going to get lots and lots of juice flow where you don't want the juice flow, if you can see that. So those are my daily drivers that I like. My dislikes on them, you know, everything's going to be subjective. But I think there need to be more people coming from the place that, hey, we don't have a disposable income where we can just blow hundreds and hundreds of dollars on mods. I work overtime, so I can. But even my girlfriend gets mad at me when I buy stuff. Just being real, I'm sure all y'all have been in that situation, or some of you. Oh, you're spending another $100 on vape. Oh, how much did that cost? You know, it happens. You know. So finally, I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank Rune Vapors. He's over on Instagram. He's actually one of my best friends from growing up in New York. He gave me the idea to do this channel and do some vape reviews, and I want a big shout out to him. You can it's his Instagram is Rune Vapors, Runes Vapors. I'm sorry, RUNES_Vapors. Check him out. If you're coming from him, thank you for the shout out, and thank you for joining us. And I hope to bring you quality content. You know, whatever you want to see down in the videos, tell me. You know, my expectations, you know, for me is I'm going to always be real with you. Okay, the sponsoring and stuff like that. What I'm thinking, and I would prefer audience feedback on this because I want to know what you want. Okay. I was thinking about getting sponsored. If I do get sponsored, get some juices, stuff like that, because juice is so subjective. I like stuff with fruit mostly. I like stuff that's has sometimes I like stuff with menthol in it. Everyone's going to be different. Okay, so I'm not going to say that, like, if I do juice reviews, it's so subjective, you know. So I can say, hey, this is the juice I'm vaping today. You should try it, check it out if you like this. I'm not going to go in and say, okay, well, it has a little bit of berry, or it has a little... No, I'm just going to say, hey, this is the juice I'm vaping on. I like it. I could see people getting upset about that, but I'm going to always be open and honest what's going to be sponsored and what's not. I do not want to be sponsored by anybody making devices, because that's what primarily this channel is going to be about. Devices, and atomizers, you know, the whole builds, you know. And so that's... where I'm going. I would like your feedback. For the audience, my expectations to you is tell me what you want. Tell me what you think that you should see, what you think you shouldn't see. Send me your comments, suggestions, your hate mail. I love that too. I might post up the best hate mail or the best comment. I'm thinking about doing something like that. I'm going to read it and I'm going to laugh. I love a good laugh, and I like to keep this lighthearted and fun. And hopefully, maybe we can both learn something together. And as always, stay calm and vape on. Once again, for me, for John, once again, as always, thank you. Stay vaping. I'm going to have to find a catchphrase. As always, my vapists, stay classy. It's not even on. And as always, you vapists,